Hey you. Hey, I've got my Blondie concert t-shirt on. No, I didn't go to a Blondie concert. I still love concert t-shirts, so I feel like a total powerhouse today. I want to talk about the different types of grief that are out there. There are at least 6 different kinds. I believe there's a few more. I'm only going to talk about 3 today, but I think it's important to recognize and acknowledge that there are more than just one form of grief that's out there. The first one is called anticipatory grief. And when I talk about anticipatory grief, this is one where majority of the people, when I do talk about it, say, I've never heard of that before. Anticipatory grief is what's sometimes called 1,000 deaths before the death, or before the incident that's going to cause us grief. We know that something is getting ready to happen. So an example is, I know that my person is going to die soon, and I'm anticipating the grief, the loss that I'm going to feel. Often people who are caretakers for those that are experienced, that have dementia or have Alzheimer's, is also called, can be called anticipatory grief, because they have 1,000 different deaths along the way. Another one is called disenfranchised grief. This is grief that doesn't get acknowledged because it doesn't always meet societal norms. A great example of this is when our beloved pet dies. We don't usually get bereavement days or a lot of grace or compassion when it comes to the loss of our pet. Or maybe we have had a long-term partner, we never got married, and my partner is dying, and we don't get the same kind of compassion or understanding with this kind of grief. So disenfranchised grief. The last one that I want to talk about today is masked grief. This is grief that manifests itself in physical ways. I had a friend who was an executive director whose building of their nonprofit burned, but through that they got a bigger, brighter, better place, more technology, better software, and was experiencing lots of physical pain, deep sighing, until someone asked her, have you taken the time to grieve what has happened before moving on? And she said no. So she was experiencing the physical symptoms of grief. Let me know if you have heard or haven't heard of these types of grief, and have you experienced any of these types of grief in your journey as well?